The Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel presents HTFL Football, the Hometown Football League. This is Big Polly coming to you today. Game number 13 of week number 10. New York travels to Dallas. It's the All-Stars of New York, the Giants, Jets, Cowboys, New York Yankees, Brooklyn Dodgers, what have you. They travel to Dallas. Dallas is a combination of the Cowboys and the Dallas Texans of 1960 to 62. New York coming in at 7-1 on the year. Dallas at 4-4. We'll get you set for this game. You were looking for game 12 of week number 11. It was part of our week 10 recap. I said week 11. This is week 10. Week 11 is what's coming up. And game number 12, by the way, was Chicago beating Atlanta 23-17, and Walter Payton had a field day, 190 yards on 36 catches, 36 carries, I should say. In this game, Dallas is a 2-point favorite. They're inside at Cowboys Stadium in the suburbs of Big D. New York won the toss and will receive, so Dallas goes on defense. We will be controlling Dallas, we being me. And the computer controls New York. New York 7-1. If they win, they have the lead in the Upper East and the Eastern Conference. They'll be tied with Washington with the best record, but they do not play each other this year, so it's a point differential that will wind up being the first tiebreaker, and New York would own it. Dallas 4-4. They have Tony Romo at quarterback, and New York has Eli Manning. New York in the grayish uniforms, Dallas in the blue. Christie, Sanders, and Glenn back deep for New York, and it is a touchback, so that sets up a 1st and 20. Not a 1st and 20, a 1st and 10 at their own 20. Boy, am I off to a good start today. Your lineup for the Giants, as I was saying, a combination of the Giants and Jets mainly, but a few players from defunct New York teams post-World War II. Barber, Snell are your running backs. Barber and Snell. Tiki Barber and Matt Snell. You can't get more Giants and Jetsy than that. Odell Beckham Jr. and Art Powell are your wideouts. Now, Powell used to play for the New York Titans, which is what the Jets were named before they made their switch to the Jets in '64 when they started playing at Shea Stadium. Rich Castor is your tight end, who would later play for Houston. Eli Manning at quarterback. His brother Peyton plays on the Indianapolis HTFL team. Brown, Snee, Mangold, Younce, and Powell are your offensive line. Younce, Len Younce, also doubles as a punter, which is what a lot of the players back in the 40s and 50s would do. For Dallas, Jones, Martin, White, Lilly, your front four. Howley, outstanding linebacker, the only player to ever win the Super Bowl MVP on a losing side. Hedrick and Ware are your linebackers. Walls, Renfro, Woodson, and Green are your defensive backs. And on 1st and 10, let's see what the Giants do on this recording date of October the 1st. Happy fall to all of you watching this some point ahead in time. And that was Barber off tackle left, a gain of 4. Green made the tackle, Cornell Green, I believe, yes indeed, for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's 2nd and 6 and at the 24. As we close in on the end of week number 10 in the HTFL, that's an incomplete pass. It was intended for Art Powell, and Eli Manning's first pass at incompletion. George Sauer comes in as a third wideout. He used to play for the Jets. 3rd and 6 at the 24. Manning incomplete, but a marker that must be checked. Powell hurt
Pass
for a few
interference,
plays.
defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And the pass interference against Hedrick moves the chains. Don Maynard comes in and plays a wideout. So you have 2 13s in at wideout. Odell Beckham Jr. here up top and Don Maynard on the bottom. Mike Maynard also started his career with the Colts. 1st and 10. Sack by DeMarcus Ware. Loss of 8. And it's 2nd and 18. So Manning tastes the turf at Cowboys Stadium and finds it delicious. And it's 2nd and 18, ball to 21. Just beginning the game if you've queued up to this point. Haven't really missed much. Tiki Barber on the screen and he'll get the first down. Pickup of 19, he needed 18. And it was Walls, Emerson Walls on the tackle for Dallas. 1st and 10 at the 40. As I open up a Coke, Manning scrambles for an 8-yard gain. That sets up 2nd and 2. A great situation to be in if you're the Giants. You could do a lot of things here. You could waste it down, try a long pass, or you could just pound the rock and just continue to wear the front 7 down for Dallas. But a marker, which will probably change the plans, and it
Number
does.
79, 5-yard penalty.
Powell gets called for the false start. And that's interesting because that's Powell the lineman, not Powell the wideout. That's interesting because now you have a 2nd and 7 at 43. I was going to say, if it was against Art Powell, he had just come back into the game via injury, but he hasn't come back in yet. That time Manning was looking for Rich Castor, incomplete, and Sauer back in as the 3rd wide receiver. Dallas counters with Smith in as a 5th defensive back. 3rd and 7. Incomplete. And that was Manning looking for Odell Beckham Jr., who now plays for Cleveland, of course. Does he still play with Cleveland? I don't know. 4th and 7. Ball at the 43. And I will set up for a normal punt return. And that is Martin with a return of 3. The punt went 45, so it was a 42-yard net. We'll set up the Dallas offense for you and the New York defense. Smith and Walker. Emmitt Smith, Herschel Walker are your running backs. Michael Irvin and Chris Burford of the Dallas Texans, they are at wideout. Witten at tight end. He was returning after a stint with Monday Night Football that lasted 1 season. Romo, quarterback. Wright, Allen, Frederick, Martin, and Smith, your offensive line. For New York, 5 10s in the lineup. The best rating you could have in Action PC Sports Football is a 10 plus. So you have some outstanding defensive players in for New York in terms of rating. Strahan and Gastineau are your defensive ends. Weinmeister is your defensive tackle. So New York uses a 3-4 alignment. They're the only team in the HTFL that uses a 3-4. Taylor, Huff, Carlson, and Lewis are your linebackers. Rivas, Glenn, Sample, and Sanders, Beck Sanders, are your defensive backfield. We'll give it to Emmitt Smith, trap right, to start play. And Smith with a pickup of 3 yards. Emmitt Smith famously played at the University of Florida. And it's 2nd and 7. Walker, we'll give it to him, sweep right. Walker, who got his pro career, started with the New Jersey Generals. And for the last 2 seasons of the existence of the New Jersey Generals, they were owned by the man who is now currently President of the United States, whose name I will not mention. I don't want to have anybody watching this game get derangement syndrome. A dive, Emmitt Smith up the middle, a gain of 5. As I record this, we are about 4.5 weeks away from the presidential election, so if you see this before November 3rd, go out and vote. That's all I could say. Now a 2nd and 5. Sweep right, Emmitt Smith. And that is no gain. Lewis brought him down. 3rd and 5. Witten. A slant. That is caught. And a gain of 9, so Jason Witten moves the sticks for Big D. We have 8:36 left opening quarter. No score. If you've just queued up to this part in the video, welcome. You really haven't missed anything yet. New York got a couple of first downs and had the punt. And Dallas is now on the 6th play of this drive. It's gone 26 yards already. Emmitt Smith's going to get a first down on a first down, and he gains 11. Lewis on the tackle for New York. First and 10 at the Giant 48. Back to Smith on a dive. And Dallas loaded at the running back position, so they're not too afraid to use Emmitt Smith with impunity. Sweep, Herschel Walker on second and 10, as they'll just try to wear that Giant front seven down and take advantage of them playing a 3-4 that would probably give them a few more holes to work with. That was a gain of 7. Lewis on the tackle again, and it's 3rd and 3. Double tight end set for the Cowboys. It's going to be a play action medium pass to Michael Irvin, number 88, one of many 88s in the lineup. But blitz is coming by New York. We'll change it to a screen to Smith. And Smith could not get open. Incomplete. Terrible throw by Romo. And on 4th and 3 from the 41, the Cowboys will just play it safe and put Danny White in the game. And he'll try a sideline punt and just play field position here. And that's going to roll dead at the 6. So the Giants get their second series going with 5:32 left in the opening quarter. We have no score. First and 10 for Eli Manning. The give is to Barber, and we have a penalty marker down.
Holding. Offense. Number 60.
Lynn Younce called for the hold. And if you're going to commit holding, that's a spot to commit it because it's only a half the distance penalty and only 2 yards. So it's 2nd and 13, 12 and a half maybe, at the 3. They're officially calling it. Over the middle, and that was Sauer, who gains 15 yards. And Sauer, who is a third wideout, will show you his stats the next time he comes in the game or when we have a moment to do so. A first and 10. That is a throw to Odell Beckham Jr., who gains 8. Let's show you instead Eli Manning. He comes into the game, a 58.5 completion rate. He is rated 92.3 in the game because this takes like a composite of seasons. And this is the historical set that we use in the HTFL from Dave Koch Sports. They have a historical collection where you can get 11,000 players. And in the replay, his rating is 107.5. And he has had 3 games where he has thrown for over 300 yards. Most notably, he only had a 67-yard game against Philadelphia in that 9-6 Monday night win, where it was a battle of defenses, and New York won without getting a first down converted. 2nd and 2 on the 26. They won on a defensive touchdown and a safety. A 1-yard gain, where on the delayed blitz, Snell made the tackle. Snell made the rush for a 1-yard gain. A 3rd and a yard, Jack Russell comes into the game as a second tight end. So I don't think there's any surprise here that the Giants are going to run for it, but Hedrick with a nice play stones and stymies the Giants. So it's 4th and 1. We'll watch for a fake here. No fake coming with Younce back there. And fair caught by Martin after it went 45 yards. So 2:29 now left, opening quarter. At the end of this quarter, we'll tell you the next 3 days worth of games here at the Hometown Football League as we end week number 10 and begin week number 11. Screen to Smith on 1st and 10. This time Smith does have it, but for no gain is Sam Huff in his violent world. Tackles Smith. Brings him down. 2nd and 10. It's going to be a pitch left, Emmitt Smith. Blitz coming. So we're going to change the play to a medium slant to one of the 88s, which I believe was Burford. It was a throw to Burford, but incomplete. Romo, 4 throws, 2 completed for 9 yards. Dez Bryant comes in as a third wide receiver. They got 3 receivers all wearing 88. And this is going to go to Witten. Medium pass, 3rd and 10. And instead, we're going to go a medium slant to Bryant. with the blitz coming. We could call a slant that probably will beat the defenders, and it does. 14 yards. Glenn on the stop for New York. We have no score. A minute 32 left, opening quarter. Off tackle left, Emmett Smith. Gain of 6.
Holding offense. Number 73, 10-yard penalty.
Allen called for holding, and that's going to back Dallas up to make it a 1st and 20 at their own 32. Walker, pitch left. And he is trapped for a 4-yard loss. Let's take a look at Herschel. Herschel Walker out of the University of Georgia, one of the greatest college tailbacks I've ever seen in my 49 years of life. 63 carries, 207 yards, a 3.3 average. His longest gain so far this year, 28, and he had 4 touchdowns so far in the season. Receiving 26 catches, 285 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His biggest rushing effort of the season was 56 against Tampa Bay, and so far he has had 5 catches twice, and his highest yardage effort was 68 against Buffalo. 2nd and 24. Slant to Michael Irvin, which might be the final play of the quarter. Incomplete.
Illegal contact, defense.
Oh, that's a
Number
huge
25,
penalty
5-yard penalty,
against
automatic.
New York.
First down.
Rhodes called for the illegal contact on 2nd and 24. They now have a first down. 1st and 10, 8 seconds left. Well, it was 2nd and very long. Trap right, off tackle right, Emmett Smith. This should be the last play of the quarter, and it is. Gain of 3. Lewis on the tackle. And at the end of 1, we have no score. Your next 3 days worth of HTFL action. We begin with tomorrow's game. If you are seeing this on the 8th, or early enough on the 9th, your next game will be Cincinnati and San Francisco at 7, followed by Tampa Bay and Baltimore at 9. The Tampa Bay-Baltimore game is a YouTube premiere game since it is the quote-unquote Monday Night Football game. We'll show it live once at 9 o'clock, and it'll be available on demand once it runs through one time. Then Monday we come back, the recap show, 6:30. We go through the 6 games that will not be televised as part of Week 11. And then we will start playing the 10 games over the next 2 weeks that we will be showing you. And the games that we will show you will be based on the combined wins of each team. And if there were ties, we went on power rankings combined. So the first game will be San Diego at Buffalo at 7 o'clock Monday. And then Tuesday night, it's going to be Carolina and New York, and that should be a good game, 7 o'clock. All the games, we're going to do a game a week, and all the games will have a 7 o'clock kickoff right here on the Hometown Football League, part of the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel. Back to the game, it is 2nd and 7 for Dallas. They have 57 yards on the day, 14 plays. New York has 10 plays, 47 yards. So it's been about even, and that is showing up and being reflected on the scoreboard with a scoreless tie. As to what to do here, I'm going to send Witten on a medium hitch. That falls incomplete, defended nicely by Johnny Sample. And it's 3rd and 7. Burford, medium slant. We'll see if that works. Incomplete. And Dallas will have to punt on 4th and 7. And their only chance is to really keep this a low-scoring game, I would think. I don't think they're going to be able to pass all that well on New York. I think they have to control the tempo, or as they say in politics, control the narrative. Here's your punt by Danny White. And that is caught by Tunnel. Nothing on the return. And the punt went 44, and I accidentally called that play a little too soon. Short button hook incompleted. Manning to somebody. We didn't catch it. 2nd and 10 at the 20. That's a dump underneath the Tiki Barber. He gains 9 yards. He's out of the University of Virginia. You see how he has done so far running the ball. He's only had one 100-yard game. And receiving wise, he has not really had a great game. He's had 5 catches in a game 3 times. His statistics so far this year: 595 yards rushing, 325 receiving. That sets up 3rd and 1 at the 29. Long throw, caught by Castor, I'm sorry. And that's a gain of 23. So it's 1st and 10 at the Dallas 48. I thought I saw Carter up there, and I was thinking, who is named Carter on the New York squad? Oh well, 1st and 10 at the 48. We'll get into story time in a moment, but that's a slant and a nice one. And it'll go to the house, a touchdown. Powell. Art Powell was jucking and jiving, and he finds the end zone. That was a 48-yard pass. And just like that, we have our first score of the game, 6-0. Kick is good by Nugent, and it is 7-0 with 12:56 left opening quarter. Marsh back deep for Dallas, and I will mention the other members of the return team here. That return was of 16 yards to the 17. Let me go up here and show you that the return team is Martin, Marsh, Renfro, and Ishmael. Call me Ishmael. 1st and 10 at the 17. And I'll go into story time mode here. Trap left Emmett Smith. My father was a meat cutter in New York, and he worked for A&P. And it might surprise you that even though he lived in New York, dived to Emmett Smith on 2nd and 7, he was a Dallas Cowboys fan. Gain of 3. Why? Because Tom Landry was a former New York Giant, and of course he went on to be a defensive coordinator. Now think of this. The New York Giants at one point were coached by Jim Lee Howell back in 1958 when they played that great game against Baltimore and lost in the first ever overtime. We're going to go Witten short cross on 3rd and 4, and we're just going to not go audible in anything. Instead, it's thrown to Burford, and he gains 7 yards, and that's a first down. At one point, the Giants in the late 1950s had as their offensive coordinator Vince Lombardi, and their defensive coordinator was Tom Landry, and their coach was a man by the name of Jim Lee Howell. So not surprising that with that coaching staff that they were championship contenders for many years in the mid to late 50s, moving into the early 60s when they lost to the Bears 14-10 in the NFL championship game that year. Pitch left, Emmett Smith on 2nd and 10. And when my mom and dad moved to Florida from New York, and the Dolphins and the Buccaneers came to life, he was still a Dallas Cowboy fan. He wanted to see the Bucs do well, but he was also a fan of the Dallas Cowboys because of Tom Landry. So that's my short story. Sweep left, Emmett Smith, 3rd and 5. They're going to try to trick him here with a run, but that's no gain. And Dallas has to punt. Here's Danny White. Dallas already down 7-0. And what happened here? Something happened here because there's a bunch of animation going crazy. Dallas has it. Dallas tunnel fumbled the punt away, and Frederick got on it. And Dallas with new life, 1st and 10 at the 21 of New York. And we're going to try for the quick strike. And we are going to go medium cross Jason Witten on play action. Look for 82. Incomplete. Romo, 4 of 9 now, 30 yards. Smith, sweep right again. Blitz coming, so we're going to change it to a screen. Incomplete. And Romo not doing well at all. Irvin, medium slant. That's good for 7 yards, but it'll be short of the first down on the dump off. Dan Bailey comes on. He will try a field goal from 31 yards. He's got a great leg, but not accurate short. But this kick is good, and Dallas is on the Cadillac board. Glenn Ross, and it's 7-3 with 7:32 left to go. Christie back deep for the Giants, but he will not be put to work as that ball was a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20. That's incomplete. Manning was looking for Matt Snell on a dump-off pass, but that was only going to hit the ground. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Manning 6 of 11, 122 yards and a touchdown. That's a huge loss of 4 yards. There was a pitch right to Barber, and the Cowboys swarmed on it. 3rd and 14, about midway through the second quarter. A throw over the middle, incomplete, looking for Castor. Chuck Howley, with an undisclosed injury, stays in the game. So why even mention it? Younce back to punt inside his own 10, the line of scrimmage being the 16. Martin, a fair catch. Actually, he bobbled it and covered up the ball real quick. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 44 with a little bit of momentum now. 6:36 left in the opening half. Sweep right, Emmitt Smith. I might make a lot of mistakes, but I try to catch him. And Smith, gain of 4 yards. Gastineau on the stop. And it's 2nd and 6. They'll go to Irvin. Short cross. Sacked by Taylor. Lawrence Taylor in the game with his first sack of the day. And defensively, he came into the game with 34 tackles and 4 sacks, so that is sack number 5. One of the great linebackers of all time. Out of North Carolina, 3rd and 11. LT. Medium fly to Des Bryant. One of the 88s you can see. And Romo, forced out of the pocket, sacked by Sam Huff. So that is now 2 sacks on Romo, back-to-back. And the first 2 sacks New York has registered. Danny White's going to come into the game for a punt. 4th and 21 from their own 33. 5:04 left now. That was a punt that goes out of bounds at the 24. The punt went 43. 1st and 10. New York at their own 24. They have a 7-3 lead. That's caught. Odell Beckham Jr. And pass may have touched the ground before being secured. We'll challenge it since the odds are good.
Upon further review, the ball touched the ground
There you
before
go.
being secured. Incomplete. No timeout will be charged.
We lose our challenge, but the play is overturned. 2nd and 10, ball at the 24. A throw, and it is caught by Powell.
Encroachment defense.
And it will stand.
Number 79, 5-yard penalty.
And it is Martin with encroachment, but it doesn't matter because it was a play of 18 yards. And New York moves up a little bit. 1st and 10 at the 42. Tiki Barber. Pickup of 8 yards. Woodson on the stop for Dallas. There was a place growing up in the Tampa Bay area called Tiki Gardens. It was a nice little resort exhibit kind of place. It's on the used to be on Gulf Boulevard around Indian Rocks Beach, Indian Shores, if you're familiar with the Tampa Bay area. 2nd and 2 at the 50. But it is no longer there, so you can't look for it. Complete. Manning was looking for Odell Beckham Jr. And when I think of Tiki Barber, I always think of Tiki Gardens. Thrown, incomplete, looking for Castor, blanketed by Woodson. 4th and 2, and the Giants are going to go for it here. Showing a little gumption. Sideline pass to Beckham Jr. That's good for 12 and a first down. 1st and 10 at the 38 with 3 minutes to go. That's Matt Snell. No gain. And we might go to the 2-minute warning here. We do not. It'll be the next play. Quick throw to Beckham Jr. incomplete. And 2:11 left now. 3rd and 10. Marker before the play.
False start. Offense Number 60, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
And it's Younce on the false start, 3rd and 15 at the 43. Manning looking, incomplete. And now we have reached the 2-minute warning. 4th and 15 at the 43. We'll look for a return, but it's a sideline punt, wisely so. And it goes out of bounds after 24, so it only was a 24-yard punt to the 19. Dallas has 3 timeouts left. The Giants have 2, 1:55 left to go. We're going to go Witten over the middle, medium hitch. Incomplete. Romo now 5 out of 12, and I'm sure Tom Landry is thinking maybe I need to put Troy Aikman in or Roger Staubach or somebody like that if things do not improve. Screen to Emmett, and Emmett's going to have a first down and more. 40, 50, 40, 30. Will he go to the house? He will. Touchdown, Dallas. Emmitt Smith, his longest catch of the season, 81 yards. And Dallas has the lead. Your point after try, good by Bailey, and it is 10-7 all of a sudden. Dallas with 10 unanswered points. Your kickoff, Christie back deep, and another touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20. Here's Eli Manning. Thrown. Only Baltimore has beaten the Giants this year. That was Manning to Snell, a gain of 7. Dallas is not going to call a timeout, but will certainly be happy to let the Giants use theirs. They have 1 left now, 2nd and 3. They called timeout on that last play. Here's Snell. No gain, 3rd and 3. Will the Giants call their last timeout? They will, which might set up nicely for us. 3rd and 3 at the 27. Manning, forced out of the pocket, throws.
Defense. Number
Incomplete,
54,
but an
5-yard
encroachment penalty against Randy White. And the Giants have new life, 1st and 10 at their own 32, but they have no timeouts, 1:09 to go. Tiki Barber, a gain of 4. Maybe the Giants just want to take it to halftime here. 2nd and 6. Manning spikes it, so they'll make it 3rd and 6 with 53 seconds left. Manning throwing. That's incomplete. And on 4th and 6, the Giants get it back. Dallas gets it back, I'm sorry. And we're going to fair catch it, and we're going to run out the clock and go to halftime. Fair caught by Martin. Punt went 46 yards. Take a knee, Romo. And let's go to halftime. And it is 10-7 Dallas. Dallas, 29 plays, 151 yards. The Giants have run 31 plays. Only 9 of them have been rushes, and they have gained 172 yards. Dallas will receive the second half kickoff, and Marsh back deep. Taken inside his 5, and he moves up the field, 30 to the 32, but that's going to come back, wiped out by a holding penalty. Leroy Jordan called for that, and it's 1st and 10 at the 9. Trap left, Emmitt Smith. Gain of 7. 2nd and 3. Smith, trap right. 1 yard gain.
Offense, number 70.
Rayfield Wright called for the hold, and that makes it 2nd and 11. Trap right, Emmitt Smith. And to update his stats, because he had that nifty catch and run for a touchdown earlier, he has 14 carries, 45 yards, 3 catches for 88. 3rd and 10 now. Witten, medium slant. Blitz coming, so we'll just keep the call the way it is. Slants usually work out good for blitzes, but not that time. Incomplete. Romo, 6 for 14. And Danny White comes in to punt. Punting at his goal line of scrimmage being their own 9. And Giants are going to have great field position. Tunnell with an 18-yard return after a 44-yard punt to the net, 26. And Dallas will play defense from their own 35. And the Giants only got 35 yards to go for a touchdown. 13:04 left, third quarter. This is Tiki Barber, a gain of 5. Second and 5 at the 30. Incomplete. Beckham Jr., the intended receiver. Third and 5. Ball resting at the 30. Incomplete. Manning now 9 out of 24. We have had in this game 15 incompletions for New York and 8 for Dallas. Nugent to tie it from 47 yards, and he does. We are dead even at 10 to 10. We have 12:06 left in quarter number 3. Marsh again back deep. The Cowboys, and he will just do a touchback. 1st and 10, and I'll tell you another little story here. Trap left Emmitt Smith. Mac Davis, the country singer of the 70s, died a couple of days ago as I'm recording this on the 1st of October. Died right around the same time Helen Reddy died, and they were both very popular singers in the 70s. Mac Davis had the hit called Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, and Helen Reddy, of course, had I Am Woman and Ruby Red Dress and a few other songs. Die of Emmitt Smith, 2nd and 5. Gain of 4 yards. Mac Davis got his acting debut playing a quarterback by the name of Seth Maxwell in the movie North Dallas 40, which came out in the late 70s. The central character was a wide receiver played by Nick Nolte. Last name he was Phil Elliott, and they show you how players get beat up during the course of a season. Blitz coming. We're going to change this to a medium fly to somebody. It's caught by one of the 88s. This one, Chris Burford, and a gain of 14. And Mac Davis was such a popular singer that at one point he had his own TV show. I believe it was on NBC in the 70s, and then he got into acting, and that was his acting debut, playing Seth Maxwell. Gain of 6. Revis on the stop, and it's 2nd and 4. North Dallas 40 was a book written by Pete Gent, who used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, and it was pretty... It was a movie that showed football like it had never been showed up to that point. It was kind of the equivalent, Jason Witten short hitch, 2nd and 4, to the book written by Jim Bouton called Ball 4. Strahan hurt, but he will remain in the game. That was a 10-yard gain, and Johnny Sample made the tackle. Ball 4 was written by Jim Bouton, however you want to pronounce his name. Emmitt Smith, gain of a few. He gains 3. Huff on the tackle. And it's 2nd and 7. And Bouton wrote a little daily diary of what was going on with the 69 Seattle Pilots. Now, if you've never heard of the Seattle Pilots, screen to Emmitt, 2nd and 7. A gain of 6. And Emmitt Smith now 94 yards receiving, which is his season high in terms of catching the ball. If you had never heard of the Seattle Pilots, well, I don't blame you, because they only lasted 1 year, and they had to move the team to Milwaukee, and that's what happened. That's how the Milwaukee Brewers came to be, because Seattle, for whatever reason, was not ready for Major League Baseball yet. And 4th and 1, we're going to go for it. We're going to go Walker on the dive. And yes, I want to run this play. And, I don't think he got it. Yes, he did, though. Lawrence Taylor on the tackle and a 1st down. 10th play of the drive coming up for Big D. Sweep right, Herschel Walker. Giants playing a zone, which really doesn't matter when you run the ball. Gain of 2. Lewis on the stop for New York. We have 5:43 left. Medium slant, Jason Witten. And Witten might be open. He is. Close to the 10. Glenn hurt. His return probable. So coming in at corner is going to be Kennedy, Bob Kennedy, who played for the New York Yankees in 1948. He will be wearing number 70, which will be an odd number for a corner. First and goal at the 10. Trap right, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, can he get his second touchdown of the day? Well, not yet. He gains 9 yards, advancing the ball to the New York 1. They'll go triple tight end here. Witten, Burford, and Novacek. And inside run, Emmitt Smith. Stymied by Taylor at the 1. No gain. Third and goal. Now we're just going to sneak it with Romo and hope that works. He's in. Touchdown. Tony Romo.
The previous play.
It's being reviewed. Stand by.
Upon further review, the runner was stopped short of the end zone.
Stopped short of the end zone. New York did not have great odds to get that challenge overturned, but they do. Actually, it was not initiated by the Giants. It was initiated by the Booth. So we are going to go with Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott has come into the game. Dive play for him. We're going to try to ramrod this in. And he does. Touchdown. Cowboys. And the Cowboys are back up by 6. About to be 7 maybe. Extra point try. Good by Bailey. And it is 17-10 with 3:22 left in the third. And Christie back deep for the Giants. But it will be a touchback. First and 10 at the 20. Snell. A pickup 5. Glenn on the tackle. I apologize. I had a cough that got out of me before I was ready. A 2nd and 5 at the 25. Barber. Gain a loss of 2. Jones makes the stop. Too tall. Jones. 3rd and 7 at the 23. Powell hurt on the last play, as that was Castor, the intended receiver. So we will make a note and look for who replaces Art Powell. Out for the game with an undisclosed injury. And here's Younts punting. Line of scrimmage to 23. Fair caught at the 32.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
And on 4th and 7, an offsides call will be declined. And the Cowboys take over. 1:52 to go. Third quarter. A 17-10 game. Emmitt Smith on the transfer. He gains 4 yards. Harry Carson with the tackle. 2nd and 6 at the 36. Witten. Medium slant. Blitz coming. We'll just keep the call the way it is. Caught. Midfield. Gain of 15. Sam Huff hurt, but it looks like he will stay in. He got his knee banged up. Herschel Walker. Screen on 1st and 10 from the 49.
Offsides. Defense. Number 92. 5-yard penalty.
They rule Strahan. Michael Strahan was offside, so it's now 1st and 5. Long pass to Michael Irvin. Play action, long pass. Caught. 20. 10. And a nice tackle by Rivas to stave a touchdown at the 4. Play went 40 yards, and we have come to the end of quarter number 3. It is Dallas 17, New York 10. And we'll remind you, Franchise Hockey Manager 6, the Brass Bonanza Series, the Hartford Whalers not doing as well in the 1980-81 season as they had done in 79 and 80. And every week we play a game of the month, and if we get to the playoffs, we will play all the elimination games of the playoff series. We'll pick up the playoffs when one team or the other is a win away from winning the series. And that's how we do that. This coming week will be February. of 1981. And we'll do a game from February of 81 and get you up to speed on what's been going on with the Hartford Whalers as I have been GMing them right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. And we get you back to the game. Tony Romo now 12 of 20, 222 yards and a touchdown. Dallas has 298 yards on 50 plays. New York has run 37 plays and has gained 180 yards. Double tight end set on first and goal from the 4. Walker, dive. Sound like the guy with the wings from the Flash Gordon movie, whose name I can't think of right now. Gain of 2. Strahan on the tackle. Trap, Emmitt Smith, touchdown. Now he has his second touchdown of the game.
The previous play,
But it's being reviewed. Again, a low percentage chance that it will succeed.
the ruling on the field stands.
And this time it's not overturned. That is a touchdown. Emmitt Smith's second of the game. 23-10 Dallas. And your point after try. Good. 24-10. We have 14-17 left in regulation. And here is Christie back with Senders and Glenn, but it's also going to be a touchback. Santana Moss enters the game as a fourth wide receiver, so the Giants feel the need for speed. First and 10 at the 20. They trail by 14. Not a position they have been too many times in this HTFL season, perhaps in the game against Baltimore. Gain of 6. Makes it 2nd and 4. So if this result holds, Washington will be leading the Eastern Conference, which will be much more important when we get closer to Week 17 and playoff time. He got it. Gain of 4 for Barber. Martin on the tackle. That's Harvey Martin. First and 10 at the 30. Emmitt Smith again, but he's stopped at the line. Actually, he loses a yard. Bob Lilly on the tackle. 2nd and 11 at the 29. Manning caught by Maynard for a gain of 12. The wide receiver lineup now, Beckham Jr., Santana Moss, George Sauer, and Don Maynard. First and 10 at the 41. Maynard won a game earlier in the HTFL season against the Miami Dolphins in overtime. An incomplete pass, setting up 2nd and 10 at the 41. Little dink over the middle to Tiki Barber, but it works for a first down, a gain of 10. We'll update Manning's stats, 12 of 29, 187 yards and a touchdown. First and 10. Throw over the middle, complete to Santana Moss, a gain of 13. First and 10. Ball now at the Dallas 36. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now at the 36. Tiki Barber on the screen, a penalty, a fumble.
Offsides, defense.
And a lot to
Number
unpack here.
5-yard penalty.
The penalty will be declined. Barber fumbled, Beckham Jr. picked up the fumble, and Cornell Green forced the fumble. First and 10 at the 15 now. The Giants marching. No gain. Randy White shaken up on the play. His return probable. And they put Jeffro Pugh in to replace him at defensive tackle. 2nd and 10 at the 15. Throw. Incomplete. 9 bad passes today, say our statisticians. A 3rd and 10 at the 15. Manning not really having a great day. But he makes up for it here. A touchdown to Santana Moss. 24 TD passes on the season for Eli Manning. Did I say Peyton earlier? Oh well. Your point after try, good by Nugent, and it is 24-17, and we have a game again with 8:58 left. Unless we go overtime, then we play a little more. Marsh, back deep for Dallas, takes it at about the 2. He runs it back to the 29, a return of 27 yards. Smith, trap left. Can he find a hole or two? Not against this front 7. Michael Strahan on the tackle. The gain was for a yard. Ball at the 30 for a 2nd and 9er. Not 49ers, but 9er. Sweep right, Herschel Walker, who gains 6. And it's 3rd and 3. Short hitch, Jason Witten. Incomplete. 4th and 3. And Dallas will punt here. Randy White, who's also a backup quarterback, and he will let that punt roll. It went 50 yards to the 14. So the Giants need a touchdown to tie, but on this series, they'll have to go 86 yards. 7:06 left, 1st and 10. The give to Matt Snell, a gain of 5 yards, and it is 2nd and 5 at the 19. To Snell, another first down and a pickup of 5. Matt Snell, 6 carries, 16 yards. Tiki Barber, 10 for 18, and the Giants today have only gained 42 yards rushing. Giants have a great defense, but so do the Cowboys. 1st and 10 at the 24. So they actually hit the start play button twice, so I hope we don't see 2 plays back to back. Gain of 1 for Snell. I believe that is his 3rd carry in a row. A 2nd and 9. Here's Tiki Barber in the game as the sole running back. They go to him. A little dink pass underneath, a gain of 3, and that is his 6th catch of the season. That is a season high for him, as we were telling you earlier. 3rd and 6 at the 28. We have 5 minutes to go. Incomplete, and that's the 10th bad pass of the game for Eli Manning, who is now 16 out of 36. The Giants are going to punt here. I'm going to play for a safe punt return. Possession being much more important right now than anything flashy. Martin with the fair catch. And Dallas sets up shop at the 23. Double tight end set, so no mistake here that they're going to run the ball. Outside run, Emmitt Smith. Smith on the day, 25 carries when you count this one. It's a gain of 8 yards. Gastineau on the tackle. He is at 87 yards receiving, 87 yards rushing, 94 receiving. Inside, actually we're going to slow it down a little bit. Inside, trap left, Herschel Walker on 2nd and 2. Got a good chance of picking up the first here. He does. A gain of 3. 3 minutes, 8 seconds left to go. The Giants with all 3 timeouts, and they might want to think about using them. Trap left, Emmett. Same play, different carrier. Gain of 3, and Smith now at 90 yards. And the Cowboys let it go to the 2-minute warning with a 2nd and 7. Smith, dive. First down. And the Cowboys are in the driver's seat. That was a gain of 7, but Emmitt Smith at 97 yards, so he needs 3 more for 100. Trap left. Giants call their first time out. They have 2 left. And Emmitt now at 100 yards. He picks up another 3. 1st and 10. Now turns into 2nd and 7 at the 47. The Giants now with 1 timeout left. Trap left, Emmitt. He's got a first down. That might do it. Gain of 10. And how fitting is it that Herschel Walker, the former New Jersey General, gives the dagger blow to New York, who for many years were based out of the same football stadium where the New Jersey Generals played. So Tony Romo can take a few knees and savor the victory here, as the Cowboys have done it with 1:06 to go. New York calls timeout, but they can't stop the clock the rest of the way. Romo takes another knee on 3rd and 12. And that's your game. Your final, Dallas 24, New York 17, and Dallas loses their 2nd game of the year. Washington will have the best record going into Week 11 with an 8-1 mark, and New York falls to 7-2. Dallas goes to 5-4. and is very much alive in the playoff chase. They'll be fighting with New England for that fourth playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Manning, 85.3 rating. Romo, 109.6 after the slow start. Emmitt Smith might get player of the game honors, 28 carries, 100 yards. Top receiver was Tiki Barber, 6 catches for 68. The leading tackler, Harry Carson, and Mo Lewis of New York with 8 each. And let's see here. Emmitt Smith was the player of the game. Scoring summary, you see it there. Dallas with 10 unanswered and then 14 unanswered, and that sandwiched all of New York's scores. Team stats, 340 for Dallas in total yardage, New York 274. New York got a touchdown, their only trip to the red zone, but Dallas also scored on all their trips to the red zone. They held the ball 36 minutes and 50 seconds. 10 penalties in the game. I thought it was a pretty well played game. 54 plays for New York, 64 for Dallas. First down's about even, 18-15 Dallas. So that's your game, folks. 24-17 Dallas. And we will update the stats here, the team records, and go through who's leading in the Eastern Division. Eastern Conference. New York now the second seed at 7-2. Washington 8-1. St. Louis would be seed number 3. The way things are now at 6-3. New England and Dallas tied at 5-4. New England would hold the tiebreaker because they beat Dallas earlier in the year. So, our last 2 games of week number 10. Week number 10 will have Cincinnati playing San Francisco, Tampa Bay at Baltimore. And then we get to next week's game. San Diego and Baltimore will be our first game of week number 11. And some of these games will be part of the recap show Monday night, 6:30, October 12th, right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. So I hope you enjoyed today's game, 24-17 Dallas. I guess you could say it was an upset win over the Giants. We hope you enjoyed today's game. These last 57 minutes and 5 seconds I have been recording them. Godspeed and God bless. Take care of each other. Go out and vote November 3rd if you're hearing this before then. And we'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.